What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to a brand new episode on my channel. As always, I'm Jay, and today, guys, news broke that Jared Leto has been officially cast by Sony in the upcoming Morbius the Living Vampire film. And for those of you who don't know, Morbius actually originally got his run in Spider-Man. His origin was actually in Spider-Man, the Amazing Spider-Man, that is, number 101, in which Dr. Michael Morbius was trying to find a cure for a rare blood disease that was afflicting him. And unfortunately, due to failed cures and actually experimentation, he gained the traits of a vampire. And much like any 90s kid, my first experience to the character himself was in the Spider-Man animated series, where, much like in the comic part, he was trying to fight a rare blood disorder that he particularly had, or disease. It was in due part of Peter Parker's mutagenic blood that he had been mutated into the vampiric monster that he would later become. And as a side note, he was more after plasma rather than blood, and he didn't bite people to suck their blood. He actually had suckers on his palms, and that's how he obtained the plasma. In his comic book run, which is still going on strong today in certain titles, Morbius became a seminal part of the supernatural corner of the Marvel universe in the comic book form. And yeah, he started out as a villain per se, but he ended up becoming more of an anti-hero, being a member of many different supernatural superhero teams, including the Midnight Suns and the Night Stalkers alongside Blade and Ghost Rider, respectively. Now, aside from all that comic book lore that I just threw at you, Jared Leto being cast as Morbius, initially, based on the looks and appearances, this is great. He kind of does look the part for sure. He does look a little vampiric. Not that that's supposed to be a diss. I mean, the guy is eternally young, and he's actually in his mid to late 40s, maybe even older. So he definitely has the look down. But my problem comes in the fact of Sony, and this ties all the way back to the Venom film. It's not going to be part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and on top of that, Spider-Man isn't even guaranteed to show in there. What the f*** are you doing, Sony? How are you going to have all these Spider-Man characters and no Spider-Man interacting with them? I mean, it's already bad enough that Tom Holland is so many years Tom Hardy's junior, and all these other villains and whatnot that he's going to be facing at some point in time, maybe, if Sony decides to bring in the villains. But it's totally stupid to have all these characters come in and they're not even going to interact with the main person that they starred in. But seriously, I mean, it could be a good film and everything, and it could have a rated R edge and everything like that, but I am more in tune with the origins of these characters. I understand that Morbius grew past Spider-Man and became more of a macabre and gory character and did his own thing, but they all have their roots in certain stories and aspects of the Spider-Man comics. Blade, not so much, but Morbius, yeah. He starred in an Amazing Spider-Man story arc, a two-part issue, would come back every so often, either to duke it out or be with Spider-Man, and then he ended up branching off into other comics. How hard is it to incorporate Spider-Man in some of these things, in some of these origin movies? I mean, yeah, sure, we're getting our first glimpses of these characters, and it's going to be cool for all the fans of the specific characters, but Morbius isn't even that important of a character. I mean, if you're going to have him do anything, and if you're going to do anything with the Marvel Cinematic Universe, why don't you start planting the seeds of a more macabre, a more Marvel Knights Max Comics issue-esque rated R series where him, Ghost Rider, Blade, and stuff can actually mingle together. I would much rather see him get an origin or a start in a Rising Suns or a Night Stalkers film rather than being in a standalone film himself. I really don't think that Morbius can carry a film, to be perfectly honest. I don't feel like the character is that interesting, and I have to be 100% real, I don't think visually he's that appealing. Cinematically, we've seen everything you can think of for vampire movies, and actually the latest vampire movie that I personally saw was Dracula Untold, which very underrated in my opinion, and I really enjoyed. And actually, if you want to make the argument, Luke Evans looks more like Morbius than Jared Leto. So maybe if Jared Leto falls through, you can kind of hit up Luke Evans and see if he's available, because I think that dude didn't get his due with Dracula Untold. Very underrated movie. I thought it was very well done, and if he ever has another opportunity to be a vampire or Dracula or something along those lines, you might want to pick him up. Just saying. But also, what does this mean for Jared Leto's role as the Joker in the other movie that's going to be going while Joaquin Phoenix is doing his own Joker origin story? I just don't understand. And plus, we never really got that much of the Joker in Suicide Squad to really make a determined decision as to whether he was a good Joker or a terrible Joker. There were gleaming bits of hope in his performance. We just didn't see enough of it carried on through. So while we're trying to wait for Jared Leto's Joker to actually have a fulfilling piece of cinema with him in it and him being the main focus, not to mention the several other developing movies with him supposedly making appearances with Harley Quinn, he's going to be doing a Morbius film with Sony. Yeah, I just don't see how that's going to work. But anyway, guys, what do you think about this casting news? Do you think that Jared Leto is great for the part of Morbius? I personally think that he could do a great Morbius, all jokes and kind of things aside. He's a very good actor. He's serious about his craft, and, you know, he could knock it out of the park if done well. And the script, if the story was pretty decent, it would still turn out to be a good movie. I know I'm nitpicking because Spider-Man will not be any part of this, most likely, much like the Venom film. But again, guys, I mean, you can't blame me. I'm a purist when it comes to comics and whatnot, to a certain degree. I mean, you know, Marvel Cinematic Universe, they like to take a lot of liberties, you know, including some certain origins of heroes, and really where they get their suits and tech and all that other stuff from. But I mean, that kind of lends itself to being kind of more common sense and, like, again, it's a new universe. The cinematic universe doesn't have to reflect every single thing in the comics as they originally appeared, and they have to be contemporized for the times. But all in all, it would be nice to have a little bit of consistency at least every once in a while. And of course, being a minor character for me personally, Morbius, I mean, it could go either way. Again, I would prefer to see him in a badass team-up movie first. And I mean, like I said before, he's been part of several different superhero groups dealing with magic and vampires and demon fighting and stuff. So why not take this opportunity, bring Ghost Rider and Blade into the mix along with other ones, including Hellstrom, the son of Satan, and all different other characters that are kind of dark and of the occult and everything, and put them in a Rising Suns, or a Midnight Suns film, rather, or a Night Stalkers film. I mean, how hard is it to just do that? Especially since Blade and Ghost Rider haven't gotten love in a long, long time. I mean, Blade, the first two films were great. The third one was kind of ass. And then Ghost Rider, first one was kind of eh. And then the second one was like, okay, where are we going with this? We've gone way, way too far now. Nicolas Cage. But anyway, guys, before I start going off on another tangent, tell me what you think about this casting news down below. Like, comment, and if you like this video, subscribe. And as always, guys, keep your eye out for my next video. I'm Jay. Bye.